Hey, everybody. It says I'm live. Today is May 1st, 2024. That means it's sadly 1 year since Gordon Meredith Lightfoot left us. Um, I have spoken at length so many times over social media and with friends, and especially a very detailed and long series of ranking videos. Um, Gord's music struck kind of a universal chord. He was so proud of being Canadian. He wrote so much about that wonderful country and his experiences there. Coming from Michigan, the Midwest, but especially Michigan, I feel like my upbringing and is very parallel to folks from Southern Ontario. And so, I've spoken before. It took me a long time to get into his music. I knew Sundown and Edmund Fitzgerald, and I had a CD that came out in 2002 called "The Complete Greatest Hits." That was really I played it. I bought it for a couple of songs, and that was it. And then I started collecting the vinyl from 1970 to 82, sort of the prime years. Then I expanded, and so now I've got as far as I know, I have every album he's ever put out. And so today I'm calling Salute to Gordon Memorial, the Gordon Lightfoot Memorial spinning session. Um, and appropriately, then, I started with this Salute this morning. The title track, the opening track, Salute, a lot more living to do. Um, that just always gets me in a good mood. If I'm in a good mood, it keeps me there. If I'm in a bad mood, it helps. Um, and so all the albums that I'm going to show you so far that I've played, you're going to go, oh, where's such and such and such. The big ones are really coming for later. You sort of save like the best of the best for last, right? When you do a marathon spinning session. Whispers of the North is on here. Biscuit City, Naughty Pine, Broken Dreams. These are all fantastic songs. Gord played electric guitar here. It was kind of a foreteller of what was to come. But I really like Salute. Then I played Dream Street Rose. Gord, you can see, was in rough shape here. It was not long before he got sober. Sea of Tranquility, Ghosts to Cape Horn, the title track, On the High Seas, Whisper My Name, If You Need Me, Hey You, Make Way for the Lady, Mr. Rock of Ages, and the Leroy Van Dyke song, The Auctioneer, closes it out. This is another one. His unfortunately, his popularity was waning here, but I'll tell you what, this is a solid record, and he still made great music. It's a little mellower than some previous stuff, but man, the songs on here are great. Then let's see, went back a few years, Don Quixote, which has two of my top 10, maybe top 5 songs. Christian Island and Alberta Bound are on here. The title track is great. Ode to Big Blue about whaling. Second Cup of Coffee. Susan's Floor. Just, this was early Gore, 1972. And I really like this one a lot. Some of these I might rank higher than I used to. I don't know. But boy, this is, Don Quixote. Then we went back even a little further to album number 2 from 1967, The Way I Feel, which was a song originally on his debut album, which was called Lightfoot. This one, most notable for having Song for a Winter's Night and Canadian Railroad Trilogy on here. Sorry, I'm live, and we're going to have mistakes, and I'm trying to get as much out as possible in as little time because I don't really want this video to drag on forever. Boy, to have that much talent, it's almost unfair to have those two great songs on your sophomore record. Then I went back to the debut, speaking of, which has Early Morning Rain on it, Steel Rail Blues, Ribbon of Darkness, I'm Not Saying, has Gordon Lightfoot's least favorite song that he ever wrote, For Lovin' Me, which he called a very sexist and misogynist song, and he refused to play it for the last many years of his career. And after listening to it, I understand why. And if you ever watch the wonderful documentary about him called If You Could Read My Mind, he actually uses very foul language about it. Slancha, everybody. Just coffee for now, just coffee. Then I went even further back. We went back to almost the beginning of his recorded career because when he was a child. There was a little 45 record pressed of him singing for his school. But this, the Two Tones at the Village Corner, he and Tommy Whalen, Terry Whalen, sorry. Man, this is something. It's I paid a boatload of money for this. It's an essential part if you want to be a completist, like I'm a moron and I am, and a collecting fool, as so many of us are. Dark as a Dungeon is on here. There are a lot of standards on here. Kilgary Mountain is actually the song Whiskey in the Jar. The gospel song Children Go Where I Send Thee. There are some really good songs on here. Gord's first original song that he had published, This Is My Song, is on here. It's okay. It doesn't really give us a hint about what's to come. But anyway, you can see how young he looked. This is from 1962. There are very few copies of this available. I snagged it for more than I wanted to pay, but not as much as I could have. Took a little break. I went for a walk, worked around the house. Oh, yeah, by the way, so it's all Gord all day. I actually took the day, as I have with Warren Zevon for the last 4 or 5 years. I took the entire day off so I could spin all Gord all day. And it hasn't, I've had to take breaks. And so anyway, I took a break and I came back and I spun part of this, a few songs off each side. I've spoken before about how this is my least favorite from the time period it's from. It's because of the easy listening 80s production. I've warmed up to it though since I first bought it. When I bought it, I hated it. I hate to say that, but I did. But I've warmed up to some of the songs. Stay Loose, Morning Glory, Let It Ride, A Passing Ship. Those are some fantastic songs. Gord looking very, very 80s there. Not the place to start if you're a beginner in Gord. That's really for completists at this point. The last vinyl I spun so far, Endless Wire from 1978. Daylight Katie is on here. Hangdog Hotel Room title track. I really like the title track. I voted this my least favorite, also from the time period it came from 1972, Part B to 1983 or 82. But I still like it. I can put, with the exception of Easter Midnight, I could put any of these on and listen to the entire album all the way through and be happy. With Easter Midnight, it just is what it is. But I like some of the songs. So spun this, a redoing of The Circle is Small from his first or second album. I can't remember, but it was on another one that I spun today. So I got that, and then probably going to be some glare here right now. I loaded the CD player up with one of the more underrated albums by Gordon Lightfoot, Waiting for You. I had to make sure I got the title right. The one that came after it, then A Painter Passing Through, was pretty highly regarded. Harmony, which everybody thought was going to be his last studio album because he didn't release one for 16 years after this, contains River of Light, which is in my top 3 Gordon Lightfoot songs. If I could have heard him play that live, man, that would have made my whole year at that point. So that's where we're at. Like I say, the big ones, the notable ones, which we don't even need to name because we all know what they are, they're coming. Like with the Zevon-a-thon, this gives me the opportunity to go back and revisit some albums that I may not have listened to for a while. And reassess, reevaluate, learn to enjoy all over again. And so far, I've enjoyed every track I've listened to off every album there. I had the opportunity to see Gord in September of 2022 on what turned out to be his last tour. He looked his age. He looked like an 80-some-year-old Canadian folk singer. His voice was not what it used to be, and so what? We all went into it knowing that. The musicianship he and his band had, the songs, the rapport with the audience, and I think it helped. We saw him at DeVos Hall in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it wasn't all the way full, but man, we treated him like a rock star that night. And there was one point, I think it was after, if you could read my mind, we wouldn't stop cheering. The whole crowd was just berserk for this living legend. And he actually kind of laughed and he hung his head and we cheered even more and we gave him a fantastic show just like he gave us. And so anyway, that's where I'm at. Salute a Gordon Lightfoot Memorial Spinning Session, all Gord all day. I don't know if this is going to become an annual thing like the Zivanathon is. Have to see how it plays out next year. It just happened to work out this year. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right. Let me know what some of your favorite Gord songs and albums are below. If you're spinning today, let me know what you were spinning. And Gord, wherever you are, thank you so much for the music and the memories. We cannot show enough gratitude to such a craftsman and such a fantastic guy. So take care, everybody. Cheers.